Welcome back to the Quote Room, Real Talk Sessions. This is episode 4 of our 5-part series, 5 Reasons They Don't Want You to Heal. If you've been on this journey with us, then you already know. Episode 1 was all about being responsible with your healing, so you don't end up transferring your pain to innocent people. Episode 2 uncovered how your healing can stir up skeletons people wanted buried forever. And episode 3, that one hit deep. Because we talked about how the more you heal, the more you outgrow people who refuse to grow with you. And if they don't start their own healing, they're going to lose you. But what if the reason they never started is because they're scared of where healing might take them? That's where we're going today. This is episode 4. They know it could lead down a dark road. Here's the truth most people won't say out loud. Healing might save your life in the end, but it can break you in the middle. Before you ever feel lighter, you feel lost. Before you ever feel peace, you feel pulled apart. Because real healing doesn't let you skip the pain. It makes you sit with it. Not just what happened, but what it did to you. How it shaped your thinking. How it taught you to survive in ways that keep you stuck. And that part? It's scary. Especially when the mask starts slipping. When the coping habits don't work anymore. When people stop clapping because you're no longer entertaining their version of who you should be. That's when the dark road begins. And for a lot of people, that's where the healing stops. Not because they didn't want to grow, but because no one told them healing could feel like grief. You start losing people. Losing versions of yourself, losing the stories you clung to for comfort, even if they were built on lies. You start questioning everything you once accepted, and it's lonely there, because you're too self-aware to go back, but not fully transformed enough to move forward with confidence. That's the in-between nobody warns you about. And when the world around you doesn't understand that part of the process, they label it as you acting different, or say you're going through something. But really, you're just deconstructing. And for people watching, that deconstruction looks like a breakdown. They've seen it before. Someone starts healing and suddenly disconnects. Stops showing up, gets quiet. Maybe they start numbing the pain with addiction, not to feel better, but just to stop feeling at all. Maybe they start calling it self-care, but really they're just hiding, avoiding the hard work and calling it healing. That's why your healing makes people nervous, because they've seen people go down this road and never come back whole. Let me give you an example. The prodigal son in the Bible. Now we've all heard the story, but most people focus on his reunion. The robe, the ring, the father running to embrace him. But there's a part before that. The part where he lost himself. He walked away thinking he knew who he was, thinking freedom meant distance, thinking wholeness was something he could build on his own terms. But that illusion didn't last long. Once the resources dried up, so did the ego. And now, he's alone, broke, living with pigs. But here's what makes that moment powerful, not just painful. It's the moment he finally saw himself. Not the image he projected, not the mask he wore, but the raw, honest, stripped-down version of who he had become. And that right there, that's what most people try to avoid. Not just the pain of what happened to them, but the reflection of who they became, trying to survive it. But let's talk about why people want to avoid this part altogether. Because once you hit that dark place in your healing journey, your behavior changes. And not always in ways that look healthy on the surface. You start coming off erratic. You say things that don't make sense to the people around you. You cry, isolate, lash out, or go completely silent. And to them, it looks like you're spiraling. They don't see healing. They see delusion. They see chaos. And not because it isn't healing, but because they've never witnessed what it looks like to actually come out the other side whole. They don't know that this stage, the unraveling, the discomfort, the deep self-reflection, is a necessary part of becoming. All they've seen are people who never made it out. People who got stuck in the pain. People who used healing as a license to act wild, hurt others, or run from accountability. So when you hit that place, they assume you're going down the same road. Their fear of your healing is rooted in their own lack of understanding. And instead of drawing closer to support you, they push away, thinking they're protecting their peace, when really they're just avoiding a reflection of their own unprocessed pain. And this brings us back to the prodigal son, because as broken as he was, as ashamed and distant and lost as he felt, he still chose to return home. But listen close. The home didn't change. Same place, same people. But the one thing that changed was him. And that's what healing does. It doesn't always move you into a new environment. It shifts who you are. So even when you return to familiar places, you experience them differently. Home for him wasn't just a location. It was a reflection point, a symbol of humility, of surrender, of knowing that the journey wasn't about what he left behind, but about who he became when he had to face himself. He didn't need a new city. He needed a new identity. And that identity wasn't handed to him. It was carved out through loneliness, hunger, reflection, and truth. So if you're in that place right now, and people are walking away because they don't understand what you're going through, hold tight, because healing might make you unrecognizable for a while. But on the other side, you'll see things clearer, feel things deeper, move with more peace. And when you finally return to the life you were always meant to live, you won't need to explain yourself. Your presence will speak for itself. I'm Mike Moe, and this is the Quote Room, where words wake minds. Appreciate you for sitting with me. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, even if nobody claps for it. And don't forget to come back tomorrow for the final part of this series. Episode 5, Your Version of Healing Lacks Accountability. Because not every healing journey is rooted in truth. Some people are just venting, some are avoiding, and some are using healing to dodge the responsibility of their own actions. Let's talk about what real accountability looks like and how to make sure your healing is actually helping, not just hiding. See you tomorrow.